Right, quick one, cleaning the oven. Constantly people ask me, I hate saying that. Oh, people often ask me, but they actually do. This is one they do. How do you clean your ovens? I see a lot of people asking questions on what they should use, stuff like that. When it comes to cleaning down their ovens, albeit like a arc light, a rock box, an arc, or even the dome. So when it comes to cleaning them, the best thing that I found to clean them is actually just a bit of ash. So I fired this up yesterday. I cooked a roast chicken dinner with it. We cooked potatoes, did a whole roast chicken, did everything, and I cooked it on wood. So what I did when I shut down the oven is I let it die down to embers. I just put the door on, and then basically it just dies off. So right now I've got a little bit of spillage on the front, a little bit of sooting, and I don't really like to use any sort of harsh chemicals on the ovens, although you can on some of them. Some of the bondings are slightly different on some of the ovens, so just be aware using like a barkeeper's friend or something like that. It can be a little bit abrasive. I mean, this is going to be a little bit abrasive, but I think it's a little bit easier and it's more natural, and it means that I'm not using harsh chemicals. So I'm going to take the door off. Now, when it comes to the inside, if you've made a mess on your stone when you've been cooking, if you've launched a pizza and there's been excess flour or a bit of cheese, or you split it or something like that, to clean the stone, it's just heat. Heat is all you need. You just let the oven run, let it rip at high temperature. Once it reaches like over about 480, 485 degrees, it becomes self-cleaning. It will just carbonize everything in there, and you can just scrape it out and just brush it out the next time. Generally, you can just like, if your oven's dirty at the end of a session, you can just turn it off. And then when you do your preheat for your next time when you want to use it, it will burn clean. But I always like to leave my ovens on for a while so they can burn clean. So then when I come around to use them the next time, they're ready to go. So let me just show you this one, right? Let me show you the inside. So what we have here, we have a Dome Gen 2 XL. If you have a look there, I've got the wood rack in there. I mean, the stone is nice and clean. This thing was running absolutely fine. It's a bit of ash on there and stuff like that. But if you have a look at this at the front, I've got a little bit of spillage just on the front of the oven here, and this will, it'll wipe a lot with my finger, but it's still going to leave behind a bit of a mark. So I'm just going to show you a really easy way of cleaning that off. So what I've got here, just got some kitchen towel, and I've got just some water. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet the kitchen towel in the water. And first off, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to give it a wipe down and show you, generally most of this sort of sooting and most of this stuff's going to come off with a bit of damp kitchen towel. Now, I don't mind my ovens looking a little bit dirty. I think it adds a bit of character, but obviously a lot of people, they've got this nice bone coloured oven, or, you don't really notice it so much with the off black ones, but, a lot of people want to keep them clean. And if you have a look here, right, if I bring you in and show you this now, see, we got these little marks, and these are the stubborn ones. Now, like I say, we can give it a nice rub down, but these aren't going to come off. That's essentially like fat and stuff that's, I can really rub at it. There we go, look, it started to come off, but there's still a little bit there. So to get those off, what I do is, I get my wet kitchen towel like that, and I'm just going to grab some of this ash, right, and I'm just going to, yeah, look at that, just got the wet kitchen towel and I've got a bit of ash on there, okay, and I'm just going to rub and make like this kind of paste. Now let me bring you in and show you this. Now I'll tell you what, I'll stop here. I'll do half the oven, the face of the oven here, and remember this is just soft ash. It's not like there's no chunks in there or anything like that, and this is just the ash from the fire. I'm reusing it, and this is just kitchen towel. It's nothing, abrasive or anything like that going on there. So there we go. Right, let me get another fresh bit. Okay, now I'm just going to dampen this bit of kitchen towel, and if you have a look, if I just swipe away like this, get another fresh bit. There you go, another clean bit, and and there you go. You can see the difference here. I mean, that's just where I've just wiped a little bit of the dirt, but you can see all of that, like all of this here that is on this side is gone, and it's come clean. So let's just attack it with some more of the ash. Just get some of these ashy bits like that, and we'll just make this paste, and you can see it just lifts all the dirt, And this works really well. Like if the oven is like properly dirty, and you've got, you know, right down in those little, in that little edge there, if you've got loads of sooting marks, because I've had these ovens. This oven has been in the garden since before they launched them. I was one of the first people to have one. Same with the old oven, the old Dome Gen 2. Oh, sorry, we're a bit zoomed in. Yeah, I was one of the first people to ever have one. I had months before them because I did some product testing with them. So, you know, and my ovens always get a nice little clean down because I like them to look quite nice and fairly new. And I don't really like using loads of, you know, chemicals and stuff like that on them. And I generally only cook with wood in the garden with this oven. And I just find this is a really nice and gentle like way of cleaning them. It looks dirty, but give it a go. If you've got a really dirty oven and you don't really want, you haven't got any like barkeeper's friend or anything like that, just use a bit of the ash like from your fire, because generally they don't get that dirty when you're cooking with gas anyway. It's just in wood. Like, there we go. Let me just clean that off. There you go, state of that. Look at that. It comes up basically like new. Now, if you want, you can just get a little bit of soapy water and a sponge, you know, because that has just been water and ash. So if you have a look at that, pretty much like brand new. You know, there's none of that pitting or none of that sort of dirtiness on there anymore. It's all come clean. I'm going to get a little bit of soapy water and a sponge. I'm going to give it a sponge down now. Right, got a little fairy liquid here, little sponge. You know, this is just a washing up sponge. It's not rough or anything like that. And now I'm just going to get rid of the rest of it. Just give it a little buff up and a little clean. You know, because essentially a lot of that wouldn't have come off with the soap, but you just need, I find, a little bit of charcoal, a little bit of soapy water. Give it a wipe down. We can put that back inside there now. Blow away that. Give it a wipe down. Last thing you want to do is, you don't really want to get your stone wet, especially like in the summer. Not so bad if you get a little bit of liquid gets on it. You don't want to get it wet in the winter, and there's no need to wash your stone at any point as well if you make a mess on it. Now give it a wipe. And the oven is shiny. You know what? We've got a little bit of darkness there. I'm actually going to get a little bit more of the ash. Just pick it up from the stone there. A little bit up there. Just going to give that bit a buff. I want to show you this is going to be nice and clean. A little bit more of the water. That should do it. Buff it off with a sponge and a bit of kitchen towel. And if you do stuff like this, if you want your oven to look nice and new, it will look like this forever. Just a couple of minutes the next day after using it. I'm picking up a bit of dirt every time I'm doing that. There we go. Wipe it down. Wipe down the front. One more bit. There you go. Check this out. Absolutely clean and spotless on the front of that oven. Beautiful, nice, clean oven. You know, none of that little spotting. And look down here in the line here where it normally gets quite dirty and you get a little bit of spillage. It's all clean. So that's it. Nice quick little video how I clean my oven. Dome works with anything. I know you're not going to have any ash if you're cooking with gas on the other ones, but you know, those ones you can use a little bit of, I'd say, like maybe some pink stuff or maybe a little bit of Barkeeper's Friend, but go very easy. Read the manual, make sure see what it says that you can use, because some of them you can't use abrasive cleaners on, and you know, a little bit of soapy water is generally all that's needed. You know, it's okay. Like I said, I don't mind them being dirty, but it's quite nice just to have it all looking all nice and clean and like new. But so that was cleaning the oven when you got it dirty. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you want more hints and tips, don't forget to give us a subscribe. And if you want a recipe for banging pizza, then click here.